Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Yesterday Apple released iOS 26.4 Developer Beta 1 that I have here on my 17 Pro Max to show you all the new changes. And let me tell you that this update is massive and includes tons of new features that you need to know about. So without further ado, let's jump in. Starting with the update size and build number, updating my 17 Pro Max from the stable version iOS 26.3 to 26.4 Beta 1, the update size was 8.72 gigabytes. And the build number, when you go to settings, then general, then about, then iOS version, you will notice here that the build number is hidden because now you need to tap on the iOS version to see it. And it says here 23E5207Q. And now let's take a look at the new features. Let's start with the new changes on the lock screen. On the left, I have the stable version of iOS 26.3, and on the right, I have iOS 26.4 Beta 1. The first thing I noticed is the new animation for the AirPlay card when you open it from the lock screen. So take a look here. This one swipes from the bottom, while here it expands in a different way. And here's one more side-by-side comparison between the two. The second change is in the wallpaper picker. When you scroll down to check the stock categories, you'll notice here that they are not downloaded by default. But if you want to download any of these wallpapers, you need to tap on the Get button. Plus, we got this new section for the phone wallpapers. In this case, I'm using the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And also, when you tap on the Get button, you will see here the progress. So let me try the color one. You will see here a circular progress, and then the wallpapers will appear like in this case with a checkbox here at the top right corner that will allow you to remove the wallpapers from your gallery, and it will revert back to the same Get button I showed you earlier. Moving to the notification center, here you will see three new changes. The first one, when you tap and hold on any of the messages to reply, you will notice that the text box is now a lot brighter to be easier to see. And here's how it looks when you type a message. The other two changes are under the options menu. When you swipe left on any of the notifications, you will notice here that the turn off all notifications button is no longer truncated and you can see the full text. That's why the list itself is longer. Not only this, but the report a concern option is now classified into two different options. Either looks good or something isn't right. Moving to the home screen widgets, we got a brand new section that didn't exist before. So when you open the widgets picker and scroll down a bit, you will see here a new option called ambient music. Tapping on it will allow you to add either a single mode or multiple ones together. So let me show you how it works. Once you add it to your home screen, it will allow you to choose between 4 different modes and also change the playlist. Once done, you will get the ability to hit the play button and immediately start the ambient music. And when it comes to the bigger size, here's how it looks when you start the playback. The currently active ambient music will be highlighted with this border. Also, when you tap and hold on it and then go to edit widget, it will allow you to choose a playlist for each one. Now let's talk about the new changes in Apple apps, as they got plenty of new features, and I would like to start with Safari. I have the same exact web page on both, but only in iOS 26.4 I have this tiny pink AI star on top of the website menu icon, and when I tap on both, you will see that it automatically summarized the website for me. While previously, if you want to summarize the website, you need to go to the reader first and then expand the summarize button. While currently you don't need to do this, you can immediately access the summary from here. Plus you have the summarize button accessible from here as well. Once you tap on it, it will finish and show you the summary in the same spot. The second change is in the reader. You will notice here in 26.4, I have this new section called Table of Contents. Tapping on it will show me the top headers in the web page. And when I choose any of these options, it will immediately jump to that header. So let me show you this one more time. You need to scroll back to the top and then choose the option, and it will take you right away to this section. The third change is under the bookmarks page. So when you go to the history tab and then swipe down, you will notice that the search bar at the top is now in white color. Next, we have the phone app that got a fair number of new changes. First, when you haptic press on any of your favorites, you will see 3 new options, either to add a poster, view contact, or remove from favorites. The second change is the slightly redesigned edit menu. You will notice here that 26.4 is no longer using these separators, and that's why the menu is slightly shorter. The third change is under the Contacts tab. When you try to add a new contact by using the plus button at the top right corner, you'll notice here that the animation is totally different. Previously, the card used to slide from the bottom, while currently the animation is connected to the button itself, and you will see the same exact change in the Contacts app. This will take us to the Contacts app that got its own share of new changes. Most of them are under the contact page. The first thing you will notice here is the bolder font for the contact name. The buttons are bigger and support liquid glass, so you can easily see through them. Not only this, but the headers of the information are also transparent, so they reflect the color behind them when you scroll. We also got these new action buttons next to the phone number and email address, while the address itself is no longer showing you a small piece of the map, but it only shows a button. Plus, the containers that hold the information are less blurry when compared to iOS 26.3, and that's why you can easily see through them. Not only this, but when you scroll all the way down, you'll notice that Apple shifted the whole part at the bottom towards the top, so you cannot go any further like iOS 26.3. And the newer version is using a white text for the information to make them easier to see. And if you have any of your contacts added to the downtime list under the screen time settings, you will see this new text at the top called downtime contact. Not only this, but when you scroll down, now you have the option to remove as downtime contact if you want, even though I have the same contact added to the list, but only in 26.4 I have this option. And if you have your contact linked to multiple accounts, now you can see the contact name is used as the header and then the platform name, while previously it was the other way around. Also, the Game Center banner is now shorter when compared to iOS 26.3, and the 2 buttons at the top are not as transparent to make them easier to see. Moving to the search, when I do the same search on both, you will notice here that the top name matches header at the top is now smaller in iOS 26.4. Also, the X that you use to clear the text is now using a black color instead of gray. And when you try to add a new contact, you will see the same new animation I showed you under the phone app. The next app we have is Image Playground, which got a couple of new changes. The first one is the removal of the ellipses at the top right corner, and now you will see a floating chip under the generated image. Here you can give quick feedback using the thumbs up and thumbs down instead of the report a concern option like before, and the rest of the options are also located in the same chip, like the ability to copy, share, or save image. And for the previously generated images, you will see the same exact thing. So when you open it on both, now you can give the feedback directly from here, and instead of using the ellipses at the top and then report a concern. But you also have a feedback button here at the top right corner that will allow you to give a detailed feedback if you want. Next, the Freeform app. And the first change is the new splash screen that says Creator Studio, welcome to Freeform. And now let's take a look at the rest of the changes. When you start a new board on both, you will notice here that all the controls are now centered, plus the Shapes button is now separated with a brand new icon. Tapping on it will show you a redesigned page. All the filters at the top are now using glyph icons that didn't exist before. Plus the search button that we used to have here at the top left corner is now located at the bottom, and the X button at the top right corner is now a tick sign. Also, I found this weird switcher that doesn't work. It's only showing me this option, but it doesn't do anything else. And when you also compare the rest of the buttons, you will notice here that when I tap on the attachment, it gives me a new option here called Browse Content Hub. When I tap on it, it takes me back to the same page. So instead of having something called Shapes, it's now called Content Hub, and it seems like Apple will add more content to this page in the future. Next, we have Apple Music that got some really cool features. Once I opened it after the update, I got this new splash screen talking about a new feature called Concerts Near You. And the description says, find shows in your area and tour dates for your favorite artists. And then when you tap on Find, it will take you to the relevant page. So let me show you how it works. You can access this feature from multiple pages, starting with the home screen. When you scroll all the way down, you will see a new section called Concerts for You, which will recommend some options based on your listening behavior. And when you open any of them, you will see a lot of useful information. First, you have the ability to get tickets, and in this case, it will direct you to the relevant websites. Tapping on it will open Safari on the very specific concert. Then you have the date and location. Tapping this information will allow you to create a calendar event for the date or show you the directions in Apple Maps. Then you can also see the upcoming concerts for the same artist with the ability to play the artist songs immediately from here as well, in addition to the ability to share this page. You can access the same feature from the search. You will notice here that we have a new option called Concerts, which will give you even more features. First, you have the ability to choose your current location or search for whatever city you want, and here is how it works. Then you can choose the date. You can choose a single day or a date range like this. Then we have the genre, which supports multi-selection. Also, when you scroll, you will see multiple sections here like the popular one, this week, this is supposed to be next week, but I'm not sure why it's using a different language. And then we have more upcoming. And lastly, when you access the artist page, you can see the upcoming concerts over here as well. And when you scroll down a bit, you will also see a section for the concerts. It says here nearby concerts and all upcoming. Apple also did a massive redesign to the album and the playlist pages. The first thing you'll notice here is the album color goes all the way down to the end instead of having the songs in a white container. And when you take a look here at the top, you will see that the buttons and the search bar are more liquid glass-like, unlike before. The buttons are now smaller and centered. The plus button at the top right corner is now located in this area, and it got replaced with the share menu. When you expand the ellipses, you will notice here that we got one more option called Suggest Less. And you will see the same Suggest Less button when you tap on the ellipses next to the individual songs. And here is how it looks if the album art is not animated. The only difference is it appears in this container instead of going edge to edge. And when it comes to the playlist, it got the same exact design language of the album page. The download button that we used to have at the top right corner is now located over here, and it got replaced with the share button. And when you expand the ellipses, you'll notice here that iOS 26.4 is smarter in making the text more readable, so the menu is now darker. Moving to the library at the top right corner, you will see a quick shortcut that will allow you to create a playlist directly from here instead of going to the playlists first and then tap on the plus button. But in other YouTube videos about iOS 26.4, this button shows a totally different interface with the ability to create new playlists using AI. But it seems like this feature is J-restricted, and that's why I don't have it, even though I still see a small difference between the two here. The glyph icon used for the playlist photo is different with iOS 26.4. And lastly, the account page got a complete revamp. Starting with the header, the X button is now on the right side. Account is now called Apple Account. It's left aligned with an icon next to it. The edit button got redesigned. Then we have setup profile, which is the same on both. The redeem gift card or code, add funds to Apple account are now showing in this area to minimize scrolling. Manage subscription is now called subscription. Then we have manage family, which is located here under family settings. For the rest of the toggles you see over here, they are now located under a new menu called privacy and access. They are exactly the same ones, no difference. Also, now you will see a brand new option here called transfer music from other services, which I couldn't locate on the previous version. So when you tap on it, it will give you the option to connect any other service you currently use and then migrate your content. Here you have YouTube, Tidal, Spotify, and Deezer. As you see, this feature is powered by Song Shift, and I tried it behind the camera. All you need to do is to sign into the relevant account, and it will allow you to select the songs and the playlists you want to migrate back to the account page. When you scroll all the way down, you can access the Apple Music settings under the main settings app, which didn't exist before as well. Next, Apple Podcasts. And the first change is the ability to play the episode video if available, and here is one of the examples. You will notice here that I have this video glyph at the top that didn't exist before, and when I hit the play button, it will immediately take me to the now playing screen with the ability to turn off the video using this button over here. You can toggle it, and when you tap on the video, you can play it in full screen view. I also spotted a small change under search. The music history filter does not exist in the newer version. And when you scroll all the way down, you can see the missing spot over here. And lastly, the account page got the same redesign I showed you under Apple Music. The options are pretty much the same, but the only difference is the family settings is accessible from here, which wasn't the case before. Now it's time to talk about all the new changes under the App Store. And the first thing you will notice here is the search button now merged with the other buttons in the same container. And when you go to the search on both, now you have the search bar at the top instead of the bottom. Plus it's slightly thinner than the previous version. And lastly, the Apple account page got the same redesign we've seen in other apps. The Game Center is no longer using a generic picture, but it has my name initials. Then you will see that apps and purchase history are now grouped together under one menu. And here is how they look. You can first access your apps or other family members' apps, and then you can access the purchase history after you go to this page. Then you have a quick shortcut to the subscriptions, which used to be under the purchase history before. Then we have a separate page for the updates that used to be at the bottom of the page. From here, you can update all apps, and you will notice that the update all button is now separated. Back to the main page, you will also see that the notifications and personalized recommendations are now next to each other instead of being scattered like before. You also get quick access to the ratings and reviews that didn't exist in the previous version. And those three options are using the same horizontal design we've seen before, in addition to the ability to access your family settings as well. Before jumping to the next chapter, if you like my wallpapers, they are available for download through my Patreon's page, which I'm gonna leave its link in the description. Let me tell you that my wallpapers work really well with the depth effect, which will make your iPhone look stunning. So if you want to give it a try, go ahead and download the wallpapers. And now let's get back to iOS 26.4 Developer Beta 1. Now let me show you a couple of minor tweaks in two different apps before talking about the new changes under settings, starting with the camera. When you start the video recording, you will notice that the counter at the top looks slightly different. It has more padding inside the container, and it's slightly narrower than the previous version. In Apple Photos, we got a small change that will make it slightly easier for you to locate old photos. So take a look here at the zoom out. So far, both are exactly the same, but with iOS 26.4, I can go even further. The next one is the TV app. When you go to search, you will see here that it says Apple TV instead of shows, movies, and more. Now it's time to talk about all the new changes under settings, and I will start with the battery. When you go to the charging page, now you have the ability to turn on the optimized battery charging even if your phone is set to 80% limit, while previously it requires moving all the way to 100% to be able to turn on this toggle. And if you have a VPN set up on your phone, previously it used to show you only a toggle on the main page, but if you want to access the rest of the VPN settings, you need to go to General and then VPN and Device Management, then VPN to get access to this menu, while currently everything is located in one place. When you go to this VPN page, from here you can see the toggle in addition to the other info we used to have. Under the iCloud settings page, when you scroll all the way down, the Access iCloud Data on the Web toggle got replaced with a whole new menu. And when you go inside, you have multiple options to change. First, you have the ability to allow, then you can also allow the search. And when you go to advanced, it will allow you to export recent searches or clear recent searches. And when you go to the Face ID and the passcode menu, you will notice that the authentication page is now centered instead of being left aligned. Plus the X button is now on the left instead of the right like before. Under privacy and security, when you scroll all the way down, you will see a new item here under the transparency logs called iCloud.com search report. And when you go inside, it will allow you to do the same thing I showed you earlier under the iCloud settings. Not only this, but we also have the stolen device protection feature on by default with iOS 26.4. So that's pretty much it for today. These are all the new changes I wanted to show you on iOS 26.4 Beta 1. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything. But for now, thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video.